I learned that when I had my store, where it's like when I had my store in Minneapolis, I was selling menswear, like streetwear and stuff. And I remember one time this customer of mine was at my store before I opened up. I had a mall store in the mall. I opened at like 10. He was there at like 9:30. So I'm like getting to the mall, open up. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, man, he was still wearing the outfit that he bought the day before from my store. He's like, bro, he's like, do you have another one of these outfits? I'm like, I'm just kind of like tripping, like, yo. He was like, bro, last night was so much fun. He was just like, last night was so much fun. He was just like, man, this fit was killing him. He's like, I need another fit like this. And at that moment, I realized, like I'm not selling clothes. I'm selling experiences that you have while wearing my clothes. And I think that's the story, right? Like the clothes is not a story. The clothes is just fabric, right? It's like whatever, it's what it's made of. But the story is like, yo, bro, girls loved it. I was dancing. That's the story. You know what I mean? And so thinking about beginning, middle, and end, captivating, bringing someone in. When they're in, what's the story? Like a lot of people, there's like you gotta, what do they say, slay the dragon. It's like, what's the thing you gotta over, like why are you doing the thing you're doing? It's like, I'm selling clothes, but why? You know what I mean? Like what's underneath that? It's like, oh, I'm here to help 10,000 black people buy houses. Okay, that's interesting. That's a story that makes people think. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, now I'm not just buying a shirt, I'm actually supporting this movement. We see that with like things like Tom's, but all the companies do that. It's like everybody has some type of like foundation or give back, because it's like we want to know what's this all mean? What's this all for? What's the point of all this? And the ending, you got to end strong. That you captivate them, you're slaying the dragon. It's like, nobody wants a story that goes too long, right? Nobody
Mhm.
likes to be sold to, right? So if it's like something's going too long, it's like, yo, what's going on here, man? I don't trust this thing. And they keep going and going. So it's like you kind of got to get in, tell your story, and get out. And I think a lot of that is just like it's honoring their time, right? So it's like you're telling the story, you're honoring their time, you're telling the story in an efficient manner. So not too long, not too short, but you're actually explaining it so that they can get the meat of what you're actually trying to do, and they can decide, is this for me or not? Because at the end of the day, you're going to tell your story. And I've heard this quote: some will, some won't, who cares? That's it, right? Some will buy it, some will like it, some won't, who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, that's your story, right? And that's your story. Whether people like it or not, you have to tell your story. But then you'll see who likes it, who doesn't, and then you can focus on the people who do like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so as far as narratives and cryptos going, we have different kind of like stories emerging on, whether this layer one is going to take over this layer one, crypto gaming, AI, a new narrative that's popping up that's actually getting like my attention for real is depends. So like out of all these narratives that you're hearing, which ones do you think are most compelling to you at the current moment? Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it right there.
It's, they're honestly, a lot of them are compelling. I would have to say, like, the AI stuff, the deep in gaming for sure, metaverse, it's all layer one, at layer twos, all that stuff I think is necessary. It's like maybe blockchain is like music. you know there isn't really one music. There's no, that just like, yeah, there's music, right? We got music, and music has a scale, right? And so it's like, to me, that's like crypto. It's like, okay, crypto's like music, and it's like crypto, you have cryptology, you have this, there's these things that have to exist, for it to like exist. And it's kind of like music, but it's like, then you have all these genres. It's like, what mood are you in? Like, sometimes I like hip hop, sometimes I like trap, sometimes I like jazz, sometimes I like house music. So it's like,
Mhm.
I think that's what the narrative, what makes sense to me is that, like, all these narratives are real. Some are gonna win and some aren't, just like music, right? Some artists are gonna rise to the top, they're gonna resonate with people. And I think these are projects that have use case, that have users, and have stories that people buy into, right? Because sometimes you buy into a story and you're so bought into that story, but it just doesn't turn out to be real. right? And that happens all the time in crypto. And that's okay, because this is a speculative market. Speculation means you don't know what's happening in the future and you're guessing. And that can go good for you or it can go bad for you. That's why you're doing it. If you don't believe in that, just go get a job and save your money. It's like that's the point of investing is you don't know what's going to happen in the future and you're hoping that it's going to go up. And so I think it's just being conscious of like what are the current narratives that are playing because you have these different seasons, right? You have like Bitcoin coming out, right? And you have like the ICO season, and then you have the NFT season. Now you probably have like the meme coin season where it's like meme coins are just going crazy. You got to remember, it's like, well, why is that popular right now? Like, why are meme coins so big in so many different areas? It's like because they're this most simple narrative. It's like you just said depin. Bro, if I try to go explain deep into the average person, they're just like, bro, all right, that makes sense. But then it's like, okay, what should I buy? It's like there's 1,000 deep ins. Do you see what I'm saying? So that makes it a challenge for the average consumer where it's like, hey, dog with hat. Ha, that's kind of funny. Like, man, I like that. That's all it takes, bro. Like, that's all it takes. Like, you like it, you think it's funny, hit the buy button, hold it, now, if 20,000 people agree with that and they feel the same thing, that means more than Depin with 1,000. You see what I'm saying? Like you need this social network for it to really be valuable. So I'm not gonna really talk to I wouldn't be like, hey, here's the narratives that I think you should be following. But I personally believe all the narratives they're all real. Like I said, I think people are gonna make money in every single narrative. I wouldn't be surprised in 10 years that there's a crypto AI rocking, there's a crypto pin rocking, there's all types of gamings rocking, just like there's all types of music rocking. And I don't think any of that stuff is going to slow down personally.